Check out this big pig I just hauled out of the scrapyard the other day. She's about 42 inches. I'm quite excited to see how this thing performs. First we got to figure out why that motor is just flopping around in there and why it's disconnected from power and the belt. When my dad seen this thing, he said this is exactly the type of fans that they use at the mill he used to work at. And I don't know if it's really going to show up on camera, but it seems to have blue paint residue on the blades along with dust residue. Yeah, all that dust buildup is actually kind of blue, which is the type of paint that they use to coat the edge of the OSB board that the mill makes. He said they'll throw anything out just for the littlest things. So there's a chance that it might actually still function properly, but if that motor is pooched, no big deal. I'll just slap something else on. Alrighty. That is taken care of. Let's figure out, what's that? I don't know, that must be just some random scrappage that got through the grill or something. Oh, she got mangled bearings. Oh yeah, that rotor's just flopping in there. Motor must have been making some nasty sounds. That is one intricate connector. Why would it have all that? Oh, is this supposed to be a multiple speed motor? Where's the speed? 1725 RPM. It doesn't state that it's 2-speed here. But we have two switch wires. Two wires apparently coming from the switch. It's that white black. Oh, I don't see a white on here. Maybe that wasn't an option on this one. So pin 6 is supposed to be white. I'm assuming that's like low speed or something. And let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we got nothing in that pin, and you can see it's blocked off in there. So I guess 2-speed just wasn't an option. Which makes sense because it does only have an on-off switch. But yeah, what a goofy connector. So we got a white and black coming from the switch. And this is our plug-in wires. Why is it set up like that? Oh, maybe that's... No. I'm just tripping out. Why wouldn't they have the plug, you know, go through the switch and then down to the motor? Why to the motor and then to the switch and then motor again? Just seems like a weird way to switch the fan. Well, I guess maybe they did that because the plug-in's on the bottom of the fan and they want to put the switch up here at the top, so make the junction right there instead of running the wire up to the switch and then back down again. I don't know, that's the way they did it. I guess quit tripping out on it. How do these bearings sound? Perfectly silent. That's dope. There is a tiny bit of play, but they're really quiet. Wow, this thing moves a ton of air. I'm feeling air just sucking in here, even just spinning at this RPM. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, this thing's gonna be a tank. How power is this thing cranking out here? Horsepower, 0.75, so about a third horse, I guess. Or no, that'd be 3/4 horse. Pretty gutsy motor. Now we had a keyed pulley, except the key is long gone. So I need to get the little screw down bracket deals that hold that motor onto that bracket. Ooh, she just never stops getting messier up here. I thought I remembered those things being here. Oh, they are. There you go. Should work. Well, I needed my extension cord to test out this motor here, and forgot it's still hooked up to the 10 amp boiler on the lawnmower battery. Whoops. That baby was probably going on there for almost 3 hours now. Our battery's just boiling. And since I'm just superb chicken, we're gonna go ahead and shut the breaker off. Plug her in. Zero sparkage in case something's seriously wrong with this motor. Okay, our switch is on off. We'll give the breaker a quick blip just to see if anything spectacular happens. Okay, well that's a good sign. Now we engage our switch on the fan and another quick blip. Well, I can see the motor turning from here. Well, the motor seems to function. Now you can hear the tremendous amount of play in those ball bearings. Yes, they're ball bearings from what I can tell. Unless they're just non-serviceable sleeve bearings or something. Whew, that motor sounds bad. Yeah, I think we found out why it was thrown away. Once we get load on it, it won't even turn. Let's find out. Alrighty, well, she's ready to go. We just overextended our screw way down in there and got it to jam down into the keyway. Good enough for now. Not super healthy for the keyway, but now I notice there's like nothing on this side. Oh, that's what this is for. I bet you any money. That's what this mysterious spring is most likely for. Yeah, it goes on here and then she clips on here and snaps onto there. There, now our belt's tensioned, although way over tensioned if you ask me. No wonder those bearings failed. Anyways, let's give it a try. I bet you it just goes and doesn't even move. It's a no function. Did I turn it off here? Okay, try number 2. Yeah, that's what happens. Oh, there goes the overheat. Well, that answers the question why it was thrown in the garbage. It doesn't work. Pretty safe bet. Just for poops and giggles, let's unhook our tensioner spring here. Now just the weight of the motor is what's tightening up the belt, which is still super tight. That didn't help. She is not happy. Alright, coolant jug to the rescue. Oh, it still don't want to go. The rotor might actually be binding up on the stator a little bit. Huh. I wonder how it would act to getting a little help. Ooh. Oh, that motor's like tight, man. Holy. Careful. Oh yeah, it don't take long to kick out on overheat once she's cycled. Oh, I guess it's a cap start. Okay, coolant jug and a can of seafoam to the rescue. Seafoam fixes everything. But not this. Ooh, that motor is not happy. Look at that, don't even... I wonder if the capacitor kind of fried itself. The fan probably sat there and tried to turn on for a long time. Yeah, she's just locking right up. You can see the rotor shifting over when you turn it on. And that clunk that you're hearing, I believe, is when you give it power, it's sucking the rotor up against the stator and making that clunk. Unfortunately, I guess we're not going to get to see her run with its original motor. I'll get back to you with a different motor. Rather conveniently, I found a really new 3/4 horse ball bearing motor in the scrapyard about a month ago now. We're going to do away with that thing and just hook our spade connector things up to this, directly up to this motor. It's doing yoga on me. She's a GE. You probably won't want to be that close to it when I get her going. Alright, this is a quick little rig up I did on the wiring here. I just put our two hots together. The hot that comes up from the plug is just straight on now to the hot that goes up to the switch. Now our switched hot is going to be this white wire, and this other white wire that's coming from the plug is our neutral. Gotta make sure I don't confuse that. I guess it doesn't really matter. You could probably swap those around on here and you wouldn't notice the difference. I didn't even pay attention to what wires were where in here when I was taking them out. But yeah, I'd think that I'm going to put neutral here and hot here. Again, I don't think it matters. It just does its thing either way. I don't think it's that picky, eh, Kitty? Alright, Kitty, it's time for a quick test. Oh, looks like $1,000,000. Those ball bearings don't sound the best, but they sound good enough, and it's even spinning in the right direction. That's good. I didn't even think of that. You can see I had to kind of route it through the conduit hole and then just loop it and hook it up in there, or else it was going to be getting dangerously close to that blade. For poops and giggles, let's see if this belt. No. Well, I guess it does flex on there, doesn't it? Oh yeah, it does. Look at that. That's tight. She's technically on there. Let's just see what happens. Woo! That was rank. Actually not nearly as fast as I thought it would be. Bearings aren't exactly happy in that motor, but it's functioning. Look at that. Hey Kitty, that's a fan. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this thing takes some pretty good air. Yeah, that belt's way too tight for my comfort. It blows like really gusty, widespread air, kind of like in an outward cone like this. Of course, doing the test going through doors like this isn't exactly very accurate, because that's really, you know, that's definitely a big enough of a fan. It's moving such a high volume of air that it's kind of creating a pressure difference in the shop. Oh, it scared me. I'm sure Kitty didn't go into it. Hey? You have to get out of there, that fan's a little too much. Anyways, it starts to create pressure difference in the building as you're trying to blow air out of it. You're going to get a lot of immediate recycling back into the shop at the top of the doors to try to equalize that pressure. So, sure you don't give a rat's hoot about that. Let me pull this thing outside and then we'll really be able to test it. At least it's a nice, perfect, calm night to test out a gigantic fan. Oh yeah, I think that made a difference. You're probably not going to hear it on the camera. I guess she's blowing pretty hard down here. You can actually see it blowing sand around. I don't know if the camera's picking that up. Yeah, I'm still easily feeling gusts of air back here. That's pretty dope. And the goal of this fan would be to set up at the back of the shop somewhere, and on really hot days just have it blowing straight through the middle of the shop. And a fan like this would move so, like, not just a strong beam of air, but like just so much volume of air in general, because it's so large, that it just feel like there's air moving around in the whole shop, you know, not just where the fan is pointing. That's pretty dope, man. Like, look at that. I wish you guys could see that, but it's literally like, it looks like there's a strong wind outside. The sand's like blowing away from there. As you can see, it's still blasting air around back here on that grass. And back there. Remember, there is not a breath of wind tonight. I'm sure you probably couldn't hear the air movement past about right there, but this thing is like, kind of like in the classification of like a ceiling fan, where you're not going to hear the air movement on the camera, but like previously mentioned, it's such a wide face of air moving that it feels stronger, you know. Basically, it's so large it doesn't have to blow a super strong amount of air, but don't get me wrong, she still kicks pretty friggin' good. Just imagine how much air would move if you had a bigger motor on there and just crank the speeds up, eh? Put a smaller pulley on the fan and a bigger pulley on the motor. Yeah, I should really be checking my... Well, it's not getting warm at all. Wires aren't getting warm. Well, it's probably not overamping. I think I'm going to try turning this thing down a little bit. Either by opening this pulley up, or if that thing don't move, we'll slap the original pulley on it. Because that's a pretty small pulley. This fan would spin quite a bit slower with that one on the motor. Hey darling, let's calm this fan down just a little. Alright, after a brutal amount of flipping around, we got this pulley off, we got it to adjust. I wailed right on this outer sheave. Well, actually the pulley was flipped around, so I would have been hitting on that sheave, but I was tapping on her pretty friggin' good to get her off. And this cast iron or steel, whatever it is, pulley didn't even get chipped. You can see right here it just flattened a tiny bit, but you can't even tell. Bearings probably didn't like me hammering on them that much, but who cares. And then that keyway was stuck there, and just, oh, it was quite the fight, but we got her. So let's just move on to testing. So I got that primary sheaved, opened to quite a bit more now, and I flipped it around so the belt was a little bit more in alignment, but you can see she's still way off. This motor doesn't have quite the same dimensions and stuff as the original, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Let's give her a try. Let's see how much slower it is. Well, I guess that paper towel wasn't far enough away. Just getting right minced in there. Wow, this thing is amazing, man. Like, I'm just feeling a whole bunch of air rushing past me going towards this fan now. Yeah, it's spinning a little bit slower. Still blasting quite a bit of air. looks like it could probably spin even slower. I'd like to try an even smaller pulley on the motor, or maybe a bigger pulley on the fan. Hey Kitty, find my creeper. Is it a little bit warmer to sit on than the cement? Doesn't say. Oh, I don't have my focus set on auto. Shoot. What are you doing out here, darling? Huh? Thinking you're gonna get mice or bugs or something? I'm afraid all the bugs have went to bed for the year, Kitty. Better come in here. Such a nice calm night tonight, eh? You just want to chill outside. Don't blame you. What do you think of my fan I got out of the scrapyard? Pretty cool, eh? Hey? What do you think?